Tonight on PhillyCAM Voices, we have a feature on Snell, a Philadelphia-based ballerina, a segment on Trans Day of Visibility, interviews with comic book artists at the Fan Expo, and an interview with Philadelphia's youth poet Laurette, Oyewumi Oyeniyi. Good evening, and thank you for tuning into PhillyCAM Voices. I'm your host, Kennedy Scurry. Isabella Aponte interviews Ibn Snell, a professional ballerina based in Philadelphia. They discuss Ibn's experiences as a black ballerina from Philadelphia and how the importance of exposure and resources is to keep the art scene inclusive.
Snell, who has been dancing ballerina since he's been 4 years old. Thank you so much for being here. So I'm just we're gonna just talk about being a ballerina and your experience as a black ballerina in Philly. So I always love to ask people at what moment in your life did you know, like, oh, I like dancing? Yeah. And then at what point did you say, oh, I'm really good at it, that I could do this professionally?
So my earliest memories are like popping in my sister's VHS tapes and like trying to learn like all her like dance moves, and there got to a point where my mom and my parents had to like hide her like point shoes because I was always like just trying to mimic her dance moves, and that was my earliest memories from about 3 to 4, 3 and 4. So I got into dance school after that at the Shea School of Dance. It was my cousin's studio.
Okay.
And it was a wrap from there. And I think professionally, I went to Kappa as well, that, danced every day. And my sophomore year, maybe I was getting really good. I started teaching classes. Okay. I started teaching my classmates. And really, like, it really shaped me as a leader. So, I want to say around 15, 16, I was like, I could do this, like, for sure.
Yeah, so you mentioned going to Kappa, which is a well-known creative and performing arts school in Philly. What was that like to have a space where you can, like, shape your craft every single day?
It was like a utopian. For like young creatives, Miss Davis, the late great Miss Ladiva Davis, she let us like choreograph a million ballets. Like she gave us like free range to like really explore our creativity. My freshman year, we went on trips all the time, company trips. So it was always like every day was like a moment to like shape myself to be like, a dope dancer.
And the exposure that she gave you. Yes. When you're looking at other people doing it, you're like, yeah, this is possible.
For sure. She got me so many opportunities as far as like scholarships to a ballet school, Rebecca Davis Dance Company, and then that took me to Africa. So Miss Davis was like the best plug.
So exposure and resources.
Absolutely, like she was queen for that.
So you've kind of danced everywhere. You've been to Africa. You nationally toured with the Cats performance.
Yes.
And yet you decided to open your company, Ballerina Dynamics.
Ballet Dynamics.
Ballet Dynamics, yes. Right here in Philly. So
yes.
Why was that important for you to come home and do that here when you could probably do it anywhere?
Yeah. So I opened Ballet Dynamics in 2018. This was right after I came home from Tokyo. I was in Tokyo for 3 months dancing with a pop star over there, Koichi. And I just thought it was so important to come back home to my roots and give back what I know, like share my knowledge to these black girls because they have so much potential and I want them to know their potential. Like I've been doing this dance thing for a long time. So I see what it takes to be in the real world and they have it. So I was like, you know what? I need to put these girls on the map. And my first company, like it was like 4 of them. They were so good, but then they like went to college.
Okay.
So I kind of like got at a standstill with Ballet Dynamics, but we're still about to be back up and running.
So, do you feel like you were inspired to teach because of Ladiva Davis?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
She definitely gave me like my first opportunity to teach.
Oh, and amazing.
When I was a sophomore, I was 15, maybe 14. I was like 14 turning 15 my sophomore year, and she gave me the keys. She's like, teach your class. Like, you can. Like, you know how to teach. You know exactly what you're doing. And I kind of took it and ran with it.
Yeah, she spoke power into you.
She did.
And you do that now.
Right.
How has teaching shaped you?
Oh my goodness. So from Tokyo to Cats, that was a 4-year like break of not dancing, but I was teaching like full time, and I was conditioning with my students, taking class with them. So that gave me the, you know, the wherewithal to be like, okay, I still have this body, I still have this conditioning. And you know, when I was on tour, I kept like referring back to like the notes that I would give my students when they were performing and stuff. And I'm like, yo, listen to yourself. Like, you know exactly what you're doing. So teaching has definitely like shaped me as a performer because, you know, everything that I preach, I do.
So I know you specifically are in Philly working with Black ballerinas. You work with the Chocolate Ballerina Dance Company.
Yep. So
why do you think representation is so important in art, especially in ballet?
I think the representation is important because it's important for the art to remain inclusive. Like, everybody could do it. You don't have to be just one color, one certain body type. And that's why I appreciate companies like Chocolate Ballerina and Ballet Dynamics, because we allow like different skin tones, you know, but putting the emphasis on minorities being, you know, at the forefront of ballet.
I love that. It's so necessary, especially with Philly. I think Philly is such a big art scene.
It is.
But sometimes you really have to work to find where you feel comfortable and welcome that.
And find your place.
Okay, so I'm a young person in Philadelphia and I want to explore ballet. What would your advice be to me?
I would say to start taking classes. I do teach multiple classes throughout the city, starting with like point classes, ballet classes, jazz, leaps and turns. So you can find me on Instagram at ibb.ml, that's ib.ml.
So just go for it.
We plugged in, yes.
Yeah, okay, so is there like a move you can teach me while I'm sitting, like a hand ballet move or something?
The excitement was high at the William Way LGBT+ Community Center as they celebrated the Transgender Day of Visibility. Reporting the excitement are reporters Tom Coyle and Tim Milloway.
Philadelphia is a city with a vibrant LGBTQ+ community. Every year on March 31st, the city celebrates Trans Day of Visibility. This year, the William Way Community Center hosted a special event to mark the occasion, Trans Fashion Show.
Trans Day of Visibility means representing the fact that we're here, just making sure that we are making our voices heard.
When you come out, you kind of go through a process of getting a whole new wardrobe and figuring out what it is you actually want to look like and not just what you think you should look like. And fashion also says just about everything to the rest of the world about yourself before you open your mouth.
The Trans Fashion Show isn't just about clothing. It's about self-expression, celebrating individuality, and creating a space for the transgender community to be seen and heard.
But for my friend here and beautiful model, Zach finds it far more empowering to be ascendant, to be a god or a goddess all combined in one, to be something beautiful. What is beautiful? You can't help but be allured by this person standing right here in front of you.
The energy at the William Way Center is electric. The fashion show is a celebration of creativity, resilience, and the beauty of being trans.
It feels incredible. I mean, this is the first time I've ever modeled or anything, and it's actually extremely affirming. I've always wanted to feel beautiful and pretty, and I never felt like I was able to.
This design was mostly inspired by my model, Imogen. We have a lot of crossover when it comes to what we like style and design-wise, and I just really wanted to put her in something that she would love.
The Trans Fashion Show is a powerful reminder of the importance of trans visibility. It's a day to celebrate the contributions of the trans community and advocate for a more inclusive future.
I'm ecstatic. Like, this was a really affirming event for me, and like it was just such a privilege to meet Adrian. And like, we're not here to hide. Like, we're proud. We're proud to be here, and we're proud to celebrate ourselves, and we're proud to showcase what we got. You know, this is a day for trans folks to be seen.
Oh, this was a really cool experience. I was so excited and grateful for this opportunity. The William Way Center is such a fantastic community, as is Philly AIDS Thrift. They're both, complete hubs for the queer community here in Philadelphia. And yeah, no, getting to showcase my work for people that I really admire and people who I know do a lot of good work for the community was excellent.
Imogen and Adrian.
Reporter Eric Berrigan went to Fan Expo, a Comic-Con held at the Philadelphia Convention Center, where thousands of people gathered to express their love of comics and meet their favorite creators. Eric got into the action and interviewed some big names in the field, including Guy Gilchrist from the Muppets and Looney Tunes, and Adam Savage from Mythbusters, along with other creatives defining the field of comic book and sci-fi storytelling. Let's see what they had to say.
Hi, Guy. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Would you mind to introduce yourself for the younger generations?
Introduce myself.
Yes.
Oh, I'm Guy Gilchrist, and I guess I'll always be known as Jim Henson's cartoonist because I'm Jim's original cartoonist starting in 1980. The Muppets.
The Muppets.
The Muppets. The Muppet Babies, Fraggle Rock, yes.
Yes. You work for Warner and for different companies of animation, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes, I worked for Warner Brothers for a very long time. After Jim passed away, the Muppets, then yes, and I became Warner Brothers East Coast art director for many years.
You consider Kermit the Frog your most important character?
I would say that Kermit the Frog, yes, would probably be the character that's most associated with me, and the Muppet Babies. But, I've been drawing Bugs Bunny and Looney Tunes for many, many years as well. But yes, without a doubt, because I'm in the Smithsonian as Jim's Muppets artist, and I was with Jim when we created the Muppet Babies and all of that. Yes, without a doubt, it's the characters that are most that I'm most associated with. Mm-hmm.
Yes. What will you give, what is your message for the new generation about your legacy?
Well, the new generations of artists,
Yeah.
that, you have a wonderful opportunity to be seen through the internet, but my message is for you not to get distracted and be drawing so much for your friends and posting for your friends that you're not paying attention to getting very, very good and promoting yourself not to your friends, but to the people that want to buy your stuff. Because I will tell you, the more you practice, of course, the better you will get. And if you never ever quit, because remember, the world doesn't quit on you. You find a reason to quit. Okay? So if you never quit and you practice and you try very hard, you will make it.
Yes. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. My name is Francis Maniple, and I am here at Philadelphia Fan Expo.
Okay, what do you work for?
I worked for DC. I wrote and drew The Flash, Detective Comics, Trinity, which stars Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, and I've also worked on Justice League. And currently, we started this brand new company called Ghost Machine. And in November, me and Peter Tomasi are launching a brand new book called The Rockefellers.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, how long you have been in the comic book industry so far?
I have been doing this for a living for over 21 years.
Okay.
So.
You work in, you draw?
I write and I draw.
Okay, that's amazing. And right now you're producing Ghost Machine for Image, right?
Yeah. We're producing our books and we're publishing it through Image Comics.
That's amazing. How does that work? I know that Image encourage and impulse like the work from artists. I know the origin of Image Comics. How does you get involved with Image Comics by yourself? How do you knock the door?
Well, Jeff Johns and Gary Frank did Geiger through Image, and that was a very successful partnership for them. And they started thinking of ways of how they could expand to do more creator-owned work. And then as that expansion began to, I guess, leak into their minds, they started adding in more artists and more writers, and now we have this brand new company, Ghost Machine.
That is amazing. I'm looking forward to learn more about it. Thank you very much. Hello, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Rob Lee. I'm a longtime comic book letterer, former inker. Right now, I'm affiliated with Ghost Machine.
How long you have been working in the comic book industry?
32 years.
Okay.
Long time.
Have you working? What comics have you been working? DC, Marvel, Batman?
Predominantly DC. I started with DC, and I was an inker for them for about 11 years. I've been a letterer for the past 22 years. So at one point or another, I've worked on just about every DC flagship character, many of their books. I guess I've done 50 or 60,000 pages over the course of my career.
What is your favorite work in DC that you have worked before?
For DC?
Yes.
There's a lot. One of them that stands out in particular is Jonah Hex. I had about a 100-issue run on that. I was very proud of. That was a lot of fun to work on. But Wednesday Comics was another great project.
A lot of books, and it's like,
let's see, Doomsday Clock. Yeah, there's been a lot of high water marks in my career. I've been very fortunate. Well, yeah, Jeff Johns and I have been working together for 20 plus years. Peter Tomasi over there, he and I have been together 30 some odd years. So
it's lovely.
Long relationships.
Yeah, it's lovely. Like the comic book creators support each other.
Yeah.
Right now, you are collaborating with Image, right?
I letter with Ghost for Ghost Machine.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm looking forward to read a little bit more about.
I'm glad. I hope you enjoy it. We're having a lot of fun putting these projects together.
Hi, Ken. How are you?
fantastic.
So, what do you work with?
So I work on. So I've done Simpsons comics, books, merchandise. I drew Popeye comics about 10 years ago. I did a series of that for IDW. I've done more recently, I've done some Betty and Veronica covers, and I'm working on an actual cover for the Flash Gordon #1, which is coming out for Mad Cave pretty soon. So in July.
How long you have been working with comic book industry?
About 20 years on and off, a while. Goes back a while.
That's good. And what is your longest run, like with The Simpsons?
Yeah, Simpsons, I did various things. I did about a half a dozen projects a year for them for several years. As a freelancer, you get what they send you. I did do 6 of the 12 issues of Popeye that IDW released. So,
okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tell me who you are and what's your goal.
We're the Philadelphia Ghostbusters. And within the limits of the city of Philadelphia, and maybe a little bit beyond, we seek out and stamp out evil specters and spooks. If you see something strange, say something. You know who to call.
Not only that, and we're also a charity group, nonprofit, where we go out, dress up as Ghostbusters, and raise money for all kinds of causes. Right now, we're out raising money for the Invisible Illness Awareness Network. It's an organization that actually dives in with other doctors and physicians and nurses to really help those who can't figure out what's wrong with them. Before this, we were doing a big event for Philabundance, which is a huge factor in Philadelphia. And later this year, we'll be doing Toys for Tots.
We've worked with CHOP as well before.
Yes.
Children's Hospital of Philadelphia.
So we really love giving back to the community and helping those out, especially the kids.
Hello. Hi, Adam. Nice to meet you. I'm a big fan of your show. What is a message that you would like to share with all your fans here in Philly and around?
Oh, the message that I would like to share is to share. One of my single favorite thing about the cosplay community is how egalitarian, open, and inclusive and sharing it is. And actually here in Philly, the inclusivity seems even more extreme than usual, and I love that. I'm here for it.
Thank you very much. I love your show. And what is next for you? Like, what are you working right now?
Well, right now, I'm still just building stuff in my shop for Test It, my YouTube channel, and there's no end in sight. I'm having the best time. I'm doing, I think, 11 cons this year. So it's basically tested and cons.
Okay, that's magnificent. I hope to see you soon, and thank you for sharing with us.
Thanks very much.
And to close out the show, reporter Barbara Ellis interviewed Oyewumi Oyeniyi, Philadelphia's Youth Poet Laureate.
Hello, my name is Barbara Martin Ellis, and I am a Voices community journalist. I recently spoke with Oyewumi Oyeniyi, Philadelphia's Youth Poet Laureate. She's a senior at Cristo Rey High School, headed to Harvard University in the fall. We spoke about her family and what it means to serve, and share her poetry as Philadelphia's Youth Poet Laureate. But first, she shares the beginning of her poem, When Sirens Are Your Lullaby.
When sirens are your lullaby, and screams follow you into your dreams, you learn some things. The first thing you learn is to clear a path when the first responders come. Do not take up space. Do not cry. Be methodical. Be calm. The second thing you learn is to comfort the younger ones. Send some to bed. Corral others into the warmth of your arms, the only stability found in a rock's foundation. The third thing you learn is to comfort the older ones. Provide solutions. Provide instructions. Radiate calm that they can draw from. Water in a barren wasteland. The fourth thing you learn is that your body will make itself known eventually. The numbness will fade. Memories will flash through your mind like lights. Moments once negligible, now encircling you. When sirens are your lullabies, and you have seen one too many famed members carried away, some never to return, you learn to push things down, and down, and down, and down, until they are so deep even you cannot find them. But make no mistake, they can find you.
What does it mean to be a young Philadelphian?
To be a young Philadelphian is to mean constantly being a topic of discussion in the news, but rarely being talked to. A lot of people who are in positions of power in the city, in the county, in the state, talk a lot about us and youth violence and youth incarceration and youth activity, but they don't talk to us about why it's happening or what can be done to really resolve it. And I think a lot of issues stem from that. We do have youth positions in the city council where we are heard and where we can implement activities, but those are only for specific students. Students like me who make good grades, who are palatable, who can exist in those spaces comfortably because they can adapt to them and because they are privileged enough to do so. They don't talk to kids who are on the streets every day and just are regular Philadelphia students living here and people living here. They don't consider their perspectives or why their actions are the way that they are. And because of that, you kind of just feel like an afterthought and like a punishment and not really part of the city. And that breeds a lot of rage. And then you're desperate to be heard. And then you end up situations like ones that happen so often in the city. And I think it is also to be lost in your family, to be lost in your city, and to view yourself a way that other people do not have to because they live in more privileged environments. And also just to be bored. We don't have a lot of activities in the city besides the fashion district, and now we're banned from there because of things that happened that we didn't cause, but regardless. My art speaks to those experiences just by letting people know that they are happening and that we do feel them. When you don't use your voice, you don't show your experience, it's kind of swept under the rug because nobody knows it's there. And so by me writing these experiences in prose and verse using metaphor, you have no choice but to confront them because now it's so boldly and blatantly in your face. And that's my way of saying, hi, I'm here, we're here. can you listen to us? Can you hear us? Because we're not going anywhere. And here is this work that's just like immortalized for as long as I'm alive, maybe even after, that's saying this was happening. And if you don't recognize it, you don't acknowledge it, you don't do anything about it, you just let it keep happening.
Thank you for tuning into this episode. You can also watch our show on YouTube and Roku. And follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We'll see you next time.